Well, I have a theory about these fires in Southern California. I do think they are started. They're probably using some form of sulfuric acid. I'm sure they're using some form of coal or carbon. And I'm sure there's a special mixture, a chemical ingredient that would hijack a host. I would not be living down there, period. And I understand some people can't just up and leave, but at least if you did stay there, you should be wearing a mask with a filter, an air filter. I'd wear boots and I would cover any open wounds because over time inhaling that stuff, you turn into the Walking Dead. Well, that's just my opinion. So, they are toxifying the air with a pathogen in plain sight while the public writes it off as a natural disaster. In a couple of years, you're gonna have a lot of zombies, and they're gonna play the dumb game like, where's this? What's happening to the people? They're probably gonna blame it on a new drug that hit the street or one that was laced. That way, the people don't take the threat as serious as they should. That'll buy them some time. In my opinion, Los Angeles and Southern California cannot be saved. They subliminally tell you every day it's going under ice. I would evacuate immediately, ASAP, as soon as possible. And unlike the East Coast, Southern Cal is surrounded by safe places, so they wouldn't have far to go. Let's get into it. Lottoriddles intel. We intelling on them. They didn't think I knew that, did they? We intelling on them. Lottoriddles intel here. Nearly every city or area I warn about with this imminent disaster of these walkers, they have some form of underground tunnels or underground city or like sewage system. And Los Angeles and the surrounding areas are no different. This past year, they've destroyed so many homes and businesses. You know, I'm telling you, they're trying to kill people. They're trying to make them homeless. They're trying to destroy the infrastructure and make it harder on survivors or people, trying to get help in this unfortunate time. And also, a lot of these places that were burned down had direct access to the tunnels. So, pending in the event, these fires are also killing weeds, bushes, and all of that. It's making way for them to come up like clear and easy. That is a theory, but everything's pointing to these things right here having just easy access to the people. At the rate they're going now, especially with all of these layoffs, I mean, millions of people are going to be homeless, realistically. And I'm not trying to be insensitive, but tents don't count. Me, I wouldn't be in cities. Even if I'm in a safe area, I might be a little outside the city, because you can tell they've been planning this a while. Cities are an easy way for them to lock people in as well, especially if they have some sort of bridge. It'll be easy to block off the roads. So whatever hassles you have outside of a city, on the outskirts or in the country, I would tolerate that and avoid the bigger disaster. People have to understand we're in the biggest wartime against humanity. Things don't make sense because they're doing it intentionally. They know they did you wrong. It's supposed to be bad. They're doing it on purpose. Just like how they didn't have enough water here. Well, guess what? They're going to turn the water off again. They know what they're doing. So, like, trying to make sense of it is trying to stop the opponent from taking swings at you, so to speak. Now, if you look at these explosions, like these firecracker explosions on the 4th of July, or these random fires, I think I saw a hand sanitizer fire. Look, all that is an excuse to get the pathogens in the air. That's intentional, in my opinion. And so what they're gonna do is they're just gonna give you a fall guy, so you never point the finger back at the real culprit. And then you'll watch like these firefighters in masks with filters or oxygen look like they're trying to put out the fire. Maybe some are. And then right across the street, you'll see a bunch of people just watching and inhaling it all. Listen, stay away from these fires and get an air filter mask. Not a COVID-95, whatever. Get an air filter mask if you gotta be around it. A lot of people, they aren't gonna heed this advice and they're gonna turn. There's gonna be so many of these things running and crawling around. They're gonna have to bomb the cities. It's gonna be a massive extermination. So you wanna make sure you stay away from that. And pay attention to the code name Veronica. That's one, I just got an omen there. That's one that is very slick. I was watching, something that was located in a hot zone. And one of the people there, her name was Veronica. And I already knew, and some other things added up. And I was like, oh, wow. For those of you who don't know, there's a video game called Resident Evil Code Veronica. So watch out for that name. On a side note, if I was to pivot a little to the recent floods, I'm theorizing that whatever this pathogen or this contamination is, it's also in the water. So I would stay out of the water as much as possible. I know it's flooding and all of that. Try your best to reduce your time in water. Now let's go controversial. I am a military veteran. This has to be one of the worst times to go into the military. The amount of mockery I've seen in these video games about the military fighting this apocalypse. Look, they would be sending you in there to die. There's no way I would go in. I didn't want to show the clips in this video because I thought it would be too insensitive. But they already have this plan. They know they're going to send people into a zone that they're going to bomb. So in a sense, the military and even some police, they would be guarding and making sure the people stay in line when, higher up the pay grade, they already know that they're gonna call a code red and bomb it all. So it's like, hey, let them hold the people off and then we bomb them all together. Let's be real. That's a very real possibility. They know it's coming. I gotta let them know. Look, I got shipmate friends. Like, I'm not finna just, no. Don't fall for this World War III tensions, propaganda, and don't fall for the patriotism. I remember when they did that with 9/11. This is a big trap. It's a no-go. To the first responders, who I also have the utmost respect for, they're sending you in there to die. And I'm talking soul trap. The police, the firefighters, the paramedics, they want y'all to fall the quickest, because as soon as the first responders fall, the city goes into chaos. People don't have anyone to call for an emergency and rush to them. Once the immediate help, the emergency help goes down, that's what they're banking on. So they need the first responders wiped out so that the city can crash and burn. That's the plan. Very evil people come up with this stuff. They figure it out. They put this together, make this work, and a lot of them have no regard for human life. I still can't believe in this day and age, a lot of paramedics still can't have a gun on them. In this time period, that bewilders me. But first responders also have to know that the disease is already out. So even today, or whatever day they may listen, they could run into it. It's on some hush hush stuff, and they're risking themselves. So a first responder is not wrong for saying, you know what, I'm not going in. They would not be wrong at all for that. I expect a lot of people to stay home from work when this goes public, and they got the right to do that, regardless of what it may affect. Lastly, I want to show you this subliminal I saw with the fog, because you don't have to turn zombie by getting bit. You can just breathe in the air. They got the weak pathogen out now, but they have a much stronger one that'll turn you. All you gotta do is just inhale. But yeah, with this bus, you can see how they set it up, where you can see the pathogen in the windows with the trees on the side, and the smoke is in front. They made it the way it had the fog look that they're releasing. And you can see on the bus it says Nation's Clean Air Fleet. Clean Air Fleet. That's a subliminal. Had a grass reflecting off the window of the bus while the smoke is in front, and you can pass the pathogen through the bus. This is how they work. And so they'll put the truth right in front of you. This is a zombie game, and my theory is this is the pathogen they're talking about. So again, you don't have to get bit. You just take in, a gulp of air. And again, they got this out right now. It's just in very low dosages so they can still hide it. But when they go full swing, they're gonna release the real gas in a higher dosage, I guess. But yeah, I found this immediately. I was like, yeah, see, this is what all of the signs are pointing to. I mean, it's very unfortunate, but I want to reiterate, there will be panic and there will be civil unrest. This is not a hurricane. This is not an earthquake. You can't just sit and wait this one out. No, that's the end of this place. But if you're there, the least you can do is get an air filter, mask, and get that immediately. My opinion, evacuate the Pacific Northwest, and you got some deserts very close to you. I'm still look. I know part of Nevada is good, but again, LA, you got an easy way out. Take it now. I know I say Los Angeles a lot, but I am referring to the entire Southern California because they going through it right now. It's like they ain't even let up on them. So, I mean, do your due diligence at least to the best you can. You know, I understand just not hop into something somebody on the internet say, but just take a good look at this and pay attention to this disease X. They got a code named. They know what it is. Come back and see me.